I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, on Tuesday, July 17th, the Elgin Police Department said thank you and goodbye to retiring Interim Chief Bill Wolf after 26 years. Bill will go on to become Deputy Chief in Schaumburg. And we said hello to the 9th Police Chief, Anna Lally, a 22-year veteran of the force. Bikers came from all over the United States and the world as the Dennis Jors Memorial Race was held in Elgin's Northeast neighborhood on Sunday, July 22nd. Saturday, September 22nd, it will be the 10th annual Elgin Short Film Festival at the Hemmons Cultural Center. We'll chat with co-chairs Rich Jacobs and Joe Basallo. Jennifer Bucala has details of September's 37th annual Gifford Park Association Historic Elgin House Tour. City Council member Corey Dixon is making big plans for a Saturday, August 18th, back-to-school barbecue bash at the Wing Park Band Shell. It's a very scenic segment with Mayor David Captain from the roof of the Hemmons Cultural Center as the mayor talks with Assistant City Manager Laura Valdez and City Manager Rick Kozel. And it's almost time for the Elgin Fringe Festival. We'll talk it over with Aaron Rayberg, the artistic director of the event. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. It's Tuesday, July 17th in the Heritage Ballroom in the center of Elgin. 3 retirements and 8 promotions for the Elgin Police Department took place on this day. Chief Bill Wolf retired after 26 years to become Deputy Chief for Schaumburg. Promoted was Mr. Al Young, who was promoted from Commander to Deputy Chief. After the ceremony, we talked with Deputy Chief Young.
I'm excited. It's a good time for us and looking forward to the future.
Well, it's a great time to be a part of the police force, isn't it?
It is. You know, we have some things that we have to work out, some obstacles that we're going to overcome here, and but we have a great staff. We're going to get better, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be exciting.
You've been with the force since what, June of '91?
June of '91, yes, sir.
Well, it's great. It's great.
Yes, it's been a great time, and I think that we've evolved and we're a better department. And I don't think there's a limit to where we can go.
Because you had great praise for all your fellow workers.
They are unbelievable. They're smart. They're tenacious. They work hard, and I couldn't be with a better team.
Wonderful. How will Deputy Chief, that position, change your day?
It won't change my day much. The responsibilities may change. Last year I was over investigations, so it's adult crimes, adult investigations, juvenile, gangs, drugs. Now we have to do some reshuffling, if you will. I'm not sure what that might encompass. It may be internal affairs, it may be training, so there's some things we got to work out.
That's great. Congratulations. Have you heard from Jeff Svoboda since he left us?
You know, I talked to him a couple days ago. He apologized that he wasn't going to be able to make it, and you know, I had to craft my speech a little different because I was going to put him in there, but since he wasn't here, I took him out. But
well, he told us he would come back, but he was just too busy.
Yes, we thought he would make it back, but yeah, he's got some budget things he needs to work out. But yeah, so we missed him.
Well, congratulations, Deputy Chief.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
This was the reaction from the big crowd when Anna Lally was officially named Elgin's 9th police chief. Afterwards, the new chief told us this.
This police department is filled with amazing people, officers who have great hearts and want the best for this community. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I'm the police chief. Absolutely.
That's great. You had relatives from Chicago come to see you.
I did. That's my husband's side of the family. My parents couldn't make it. My mom just had surgery on her knee.
Where do they live?
They live 2 hours from here. Yeah, so they're a little bit away.
Al Young as your deputy chief, that's great.
Yes, he, like I said in my speech about him, he is just very thoughtful. He has a great heart. He wants the best for the city. He wants the best for the officers. So I'm happy that he's my deputy chief.
That's a great story when you said, well, Jeff Svoboda's gone now, Chief Wolf's in place. 7 or 8 days later, I'm leaving.
Yes, I'm staying. I plan to stay for a long time. I think this is just a great opportunity, and I'm so excited. So I'm staying.
And you've been in town 22 years now?
Yes, I've been an officer for 22 years, and I've lived the whole time here in Elgin.
Elgin on Sunday, July 22nd, was the bike racing capital of the world. As we looked over the parking lot opposite Old Sherman Hospital, we saw vehicles that brought bikes to our area from several states. The Intelligentsia Cup, 10 days of racing in Chicagoland, made Elgin a marquee day stop on a Sunday. Locally, it's called the Dennis George Memorial Race, named for an Elginite man who loved racing who passed away in a bike accident in 2015. City Council member John Steffen talks about what this day means to him and to the memory of Mr. George.
It means a lot. Dennis and I worked on prior bike races, and it was always a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun to bring those to town, and we're happy that this is happening for the second year and hopefully for many more years. So far we've had a couple races, and almost every winner, first, second, and third, are from out of state. So it's amazing the number of riders from this country and from around the world that are here. So it's good.
We citizens of Elgin have taken to it, haven't they?
Yeah, we get people here that are just kind of coming out to see what bike racing's about, and they get interested, and they stay the day, and they watch all the way to the end. It's good.
The professional bikers, they're coming from Japan and Australia, aren't they not?
Yes, yeah, there's some host housing in the neighborhood that have had Australians, New Zealanders, so there's people from all over the world, yep.
With that in mind, an Elgin man played a very unique role in housing the bikers. You helped bring this race to town, didn't you?
I did. This is our second year of volunteering.
And you live right here in Elgin?
I do, right around the corner.
Now, you have quite a story. Now, of course, it's a circuit. These guys are on the circuit, and they have like 10 different stops. So you might have been a factor in housing, is that right?
Well, last year we were a factor in housing 7 fellas from New Zealand who all fit into our house together. So somewhere during that occasion, as wonderful as that was, I had a better idea. So this year there's some yet to be filled rooms in an assisted living facility I've just finished building in Wooddale, Randall residence. So we got about 60, 70 cyclists staying over there for the 10 days.
Wow.
So,
They come from all over Japan, Australia, don't they?
it's been fun. It's this international mix of people. It's been a lot of fun to see everybody together. It's turned into one big party over there, so it seems. So.
That's great because the circuit's so extensive. Wonderful. When you see this happen here in Elgin, tell me how you feel.
It's just all part of it for me. It's been a beautiful neighborhood. The neighborhood's been so good to me. If you live in Elgin, you understand how this works. It's just a really friendly group of people, and this is all part of how it works.
September 22nd means it's time for the 10th annual Elgin Short Film Festival. Let's check in with co-chair Joe Basallo.
We're very excited. 10th annual Elgin Short Film Festival, September 22nd. We are excited. Third Saturday in September, like always. Past 10 years in a row.
Ticket price, just $10.
$10 to get in. You'll be able to see some fabulous films. Great filmmakers submitting so far this year. Mike Toomey will be back as our MC. We got chamber music on the Fox performing an original piece to some black and white footage. And so we have a lot going on. So we're very excited. Judy's got a red carpet show we're all excited about. So yes, it's going to be a great time again this year.
You've been receiving short films since April.
Yes, and films, it's funny, every year it's usually slow, and then the closer we get to the deadline, the films are starting to come in, and they're starting to come in and starting to come in. So that's just generally the nature of the film show. But August 24th is the final date for submissions to this year's film festival, and you can get them in on filmfreeway.com. Yeah, we'll have Tim Carr from ECC coming back again this year as a judge. Carrie Callis from Columbia College is coming in. We'll have some folks from the Elgin Cultural Arts Commission and a couple others that we're waiting on here.
Well, I'm very excited to announce that this year that the Grand Victoria Casino has again come back to be a sponsor, and they're sponsoring our first prize. We have 2 new sponsors this year. Second prize is State Senator Christina Castro. And for the third prize is State Representative Anna Moeller. So we're very, very excited that they have jumped on board for our 10th anniversary celebration of the Elgin Short Film Festival.
Tell me what the night, when you see it in action, what does the night mean to you?
Well, it's just nice to see the people, the friends and neighbors and new people come to the fest to appreciate. We have an opportunity to spend some time with the finalists at the pre-red carpet reception for them, and they're just thrilled. They are filmmakers who many of them have gone to many film festivals, and they sometimes have to show up on the second floor of a bowling alley, no one to greet them, and here we really make them feel special. We do a red carpet, as you know, you're our MC, you make it very, very special for them and for us, and so it's just really cool to have this kind of like Hollywood flair going on here in downtown Elgin.
It's the 10th Annual Elgin Short Film Festival, Saturday, September 22nd at the Hemmons Cultural Center. We'll see you on the red carpet to start the night. Let's preview the upcoming Elgin Historic House Tour in September as we hear from the co-chair, Jennifer Fukala.
The house tour this year is going to be on September 8th and 9th. It's going to be down here in the beautiful northeast neighborhood along Spring and Douglas. And the registration site will be at the Old Sherman Hospital on Slade.
You're in front of 802 Douglas, a Queen Anne. Tell me about this great house.
Yeah, so this is a beautiful Queen Anne style Victorian house. It was built in 1894 for a guy named August Sheely. He founded a grocery empire here in Elgin, and actually a little fact about him, he owned several houses along Douglas Avenue, and this was the house that he built once he had really grown as a businessman and achieved success. This is our first mid-century modern style house. We have a beautiful variety of houses this year. And this is the first time that we're featuring the mid-century style. That house was built in 1956. And a lot of people may not be aware that this would be considered historic at this point, but anything older than 50 years is considered in the historic category.
Oh, you can't go wrong here. There's so much history here and so many beautiful homes.
Agreed. We have some new things this year that I want to talk about. We redesigned a website. We have a beautiful new website, historicelginhousetour.com. I encourage everybody to visit that for more details on the house tour. And we're actually going to be having a package available where you can get your house tour tickets and a dinner at Elgin Public House with a history presentation. So, great for those out-of-town travelers that might be coming here and looking for a full weekend itinerary.
What a wonderful idea. They can stay for 2 days and enjoy a meal in between.
Agreed. Yeah, we're trying to, have people have more options to enjoy over that weekend and really make a full weekend for them.
This is the 37th year. It seems to get special each and every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's always something a little bit new, a little bit different, but 37 years, still going strong, stronger than ever. And, believe it or not, we still have some of the same people involved that founded this tour from the Gifford Park Association. And we're really just happy and delighted that, this tour has been such a success for Elgin.
Again, the historic Elgin House Tour takes place the weekend of Saturday and Sunday, September 8th and 9th. This year's tour, put on by the Gifford Park Association, takes place in the northeast neighborhood of Elgin. That's City Council member Corey Dixon in the middle and well-known chef Ryan Washy on his right as they make plans for a great community event that's upcoming on August 18th here at the Wing Park Band Shell. The day will start with kids getting a free back-to-school book bag. And after that, there's plenty of music, fun, and all kinds of things will take place in this community event as we check in with Corey Dixon.
The date is going to be August 18th from 12 to 5 p.m. We're going to get here and set up probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and the event will go all the way through 5 o'clock, and it'll be performances all the way through, and hopefully we'll have food all the way through as long as we don't run out. So first come, first serve type of deal. And the event, how do we come up with the event? How do we come up with the idea? Well, about 2 to 3 years ago, I was actually in Aurora, and they were having a back-to-school event, and my daughter was performing. She was one of the performers with her choir. And when I sat down and I looked around and they did this concert series and they gave away free food and shoes and book bags, and I looked around and I said, this is a really awesome idea. I would love to have something like this in Elgin. But when you come up with ideas like that, or you have those moments, you have those thoughts, it's on you to act on them. So, I never forgot that. And so once I was blessed enough to be elected, I said, I'm going to use my platform to do the things and to bring light on the issues that I really genuinely care about. And education is one of those things for me. Without that education, I wouldn't be here today. So I want to make sure that we let these children know that the education is really, really important. And we're going to celebrate you every year, and making sure that you go back to school knowing how important your education is.
And everybody get a book bag.
Everybody's going to have a book bag. If you want a book bag, we'll have a book bag for you. And supplies, mind you.
So as the planning with Corey and Ryan continues, make sure the kids and the entire family are ready to attend this first annual BBQ Bash that'll take place Saturday, August 18th from 12 noon until 5 p.m. right here at the beautiful Wing Park Band Shell. We'll see you then. It's time for our segment with Mayor David Captain. We have the best view of the city of Elgin I've ever seen, Mayor.
We do, Jeff. Good morning. And we're on the roof of the Hemmons Auditorium. and Hemmons Cultural Center, let's put it that way. And we're got a panoramic view on all four directions. With us today are Assistant City Manager Laura Valdez and City Manager Rick Kozal. And as part of the Uniquely Elgin series that we're doing, we're interviewing our staff and our personnel. And we've gone through Public Works, we've been to the Police Department, we're going to talk to the City Manager's office. And the questions are pretty much the same. We're going to start out with Rick. And he's got the longest history. How did you get in the business? How long have you been doing this? And how did you get to the position you're in right now?
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks for having Laura and I up here. This is a great vantage point and looking forward to spending a little bit of time up here this morning. I've been in the business about 28 years. When I was growing up, I had three choices. I could be a doctor, a dentist, or a lawyer. I hit high school chemistry, wasn't able to do that, so I segued into the law. I always had an interest in politics and local government, but I didn't know anything about an MPA program or anything like that, so I thought that law school was the best way to get that done. Went through law school, took a job with another municipality for about 5 years before coming over here to Elgin, and worked in the Corporation Counsel's office for a long time as an assistant. There's this big blockade in front of me called Bill Cogley, and I came to a determination that if I'm going to be going anywhere higher in the organization, it's not going to be climbing over the mountain that he is, and deservedly so. So I began looking for other options because I began gravitating more to the policy components of local government, went back and got an MPA, and had the good fortune of, when Sean Stiegel was appointed city manager, to have him tap me as the assistant.
Wonderful story.
It is. And, we've appointed Rick a couple years ago to be the city manager when Sean left, and it was just a natural progression. And again, it goes back really to one of the things I really believe: you promote from within. Oh, yeah. You let people work, do their job, and you put them into a position to be successful. Laura, tell us your story.
Hi, yes, Laura Valdez, Assistant City Manager. Thanks for having us on. On the roof. We are here, and it is a beautiful day. It's just so nice to see all of the beautiful downtown Elgin. But my career starts not in local government. Kind of like Rick, I started, when I was in college, I went to school at U of I down in Champaign and got a degree in English and minored in secondary education. So I was actually on the path to be a teacher, and I was a teacher for a couple years. I was a middle school English teacher in Rockford. I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade English, and a lot of people have a lot to say about middle schoolers, but I really love them, and I think they did prepare me for a lot in life.
City Hall.
For city, maybe. Yes, maybe. But while I was in college, in undergrad, while I was teaching, I was heavily involved in the Rockford community, and the mayor at the time had a lot of education initiatives that he was working on that really brought together the government, some nonprofits, the education system, and tried to work towards some local solutions. And so I started to get my hands in that and realized that maybe that's kind of something I wanted to do. Yeah. So after 2 years of teaching, I went back to school, got my master's in public administration, did a couple internships, and also under Sean Stiegel, got hired here as an intern 6 years ago. So I've been at the city for 6 years now. Started in the HR department and then worked my way to the city manager's office. And have worked as
way down or up, depending on the perspective, right?
Yeah, so it's been a wonderful time here in Elgin, in the city manager's office, working for the community. My role has transitioned from working a lot out in the community to doing some both community and internal work as well. So,
all right, we're going to remind everybody we're at the top of Hemmons if they wonder where all the shots are. We need to you're a little bit towards the camera there, Rick. We want to see your handsome face as well.
Laura needs to be fair to her parents. Are both involved locally in politics up in
You're Rockford legends, aren't you?
Yeah, so both my parents are involved in local government. My mom is, she worked at the city of Rockford, now works for the village of Oak Park, and my father ran for mayor of Rockford. So yes, he's an engineer, rocket scientist. I mean, just a very involved, interesting family. So
that's a great combo there.
Okay, and one of the things I've asked the other staff members is to try to get a crystal ball out and look from your position, what your role is in the city. What do you see as some of the challenges that you're going to have? And we'll start out with Laura.
All right, Laura, you're back on the hot seat here.
All right, here, yes, and it is getting a little warm up here. Yeah, baking on the roof a little bit. But local government is so uniquely fascinating because it truly is something that you can if you want to impact change, you can do that. If a problem comes up that day, either later that day or tomorrow, you can start implementing a solution. And I think at the City of Elgin, what we've done is we've created this culture that really relies on not only the employees across different departments, but the community as well to come up with different solutions. But having said all of that, just any local government is really faced with the continuing services at the level that the community expects, and what it's going to cost to pay for those services. So last year we did an extensive budget process that really looked at the next 3 years where we had some significant deficits. City Manager Rick Colzo brought the City Council through a lot of, academic sessions of what makes a budget for a city. But I think that's something that, city managers for quite some time, as we're looking at the federal, state, and local levels of the economy that we're in, the competing interests that we have, how do we continue to do more or even keep the same level of services and as costs continue to go up. So for me, that's one of the biggest things. There's quite a few challenges though.
Same question for Rick, isn't it?
Same question for Rick.
All right, you're on display, young man.
With the decline in revenue from the Grand Victoria Casino, it's going to have a substantial impact on the way that the city begins prioritizing projects in the future. At this coming council meeting, in fact, there's going to be a transfer of the license between the GVC and its new owners, Eldorado Entertainment. But the fact is, we're coming down from what used to be a peak of almost $30 million a year that the city could use to invest in its infrastructure. We're down to about $10 million right now. There's a lot of projects that go by the wayside in that instance. It doesn't mean we stop advancing and moving forward, but we just have to be much more selective when we focus on the things that are going to be important to keep this city moving forward in a progressive direction.
Sure, as you know, Mayor, the police facility, Center of Elgin, are early years of the boat's money.
Absolutely, and it meant a lot to the community. And I said this there's no surprise here, but I've said this in the State of the City address, that it's time for us to move on. They are part of our community, but they are not the linchpin that they were for the last 20 years. And we have to start addressing how are we going to change and how are we going to change as a city to provide that economic resource. Where's it going to come from? Mm-hmm. And the riverboat, not saying it's completely gone away, but it certainly is different, and it's not entirely their fault. The whole business has changed. Sure. And how do we adapt to that? And we're constantly seeing changes going on in the state government that affects gaming. So we're looking forward to the future, and I think Elgin's got a great future. I think that we've taken, through the leadership of all our staff members, we've taken a leadership role in just about every department, and other communities look up to us as a city, and they're using us as guide. And I think that speaks volumes for our employees.
And you're like the kiddie core, because you're so young and having such a great title. So we've got a great future with you.
Yes, yeah, I'm really looking forward to being here for a long time in Elgin. But the nice thing about working in this community and in this organization is, like I said, I started as an intern. And there are so many opportunities here at the city, and part of it is because we have such a lean staffing model that people are almost required to get their hands into a lot of different areas that might not necessarily fit their job description or their area. So I've been fortunate to have so many opportunities to do things, whether it's budget, strategic plan, technology, or diversity and inclusion work that we're all really very proud of. So it's just, there's so much here in Elgin.
There is. Always active, Mayor.
We always are, and look forward to a bright future here.
We got 1 minute left again. How did we get up here? Was Molly Center suggesting this? How did we get up on the tall Hemmons building?
I may have texted Butch this morning to say,
So Butch said, come on over?
I said, is this possible? And he said, it's not impossible, which is my favorite response. So thank you. Yeah, so Molly came over. She tested everything out while I was in a meeting, and she has heels on. So we said if she can do it in heels, we can all do it. Yeah.
She's going to have to carry me down because I'm old, though.
Well, I'll help everybody.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. Again, we're atop the Hemmons Cultural Center. You've never been up here, have you, Mayor?
I never have. No, Jeff. And we're looking forward, and there's a famous line from the movies. I'm at the top of the world.
Oh, all right, Ma. Top of the world. You're doing your Jimmy Cagney. All right, mister. All right. Jeremy says wrap it up. No Cagneys. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jeff, for having us. Mayor, thanks for having Laura and I join you this morning. Always look forward to work and opportunity to spend more time working with you.
Great work with you, and great car collection you have as well.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff.
He's his own car show, and you do great work.
Yes, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be with both of you. Thank you for having us on.
Mayor is always top of the world, Ma.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll see you next month.
All right. Hemmons Culture. Cultural Center, we wave bye-bye from high atop Elgin. Next, we hear about a yearly event that began some 60 months ago and takes place in September.
Yes, 5 years of the Elgin Fringe Festival. Next month, September 7th through the 16th, we're kicking it off. So back in downtown Elgin, 2 weekends now of visual and performing arts all over downtown Elgin.
You do so well with that, and folks come from all over the globe, don't they?
They really do. We have artists, I think off the top of my head, from 11 states this year.
Wow.
We're really excited about that. Over 100 performances, a whole gallery full of visual artists, and then we kick off the festival with the Family Fringe the first Saturday in Carlton Rogers Park, and that's all day, free and open to the public. Games, we have a bounce house this year, art making performances.
You use so many venues downtown, don't you?
Yes, we do. We have space at Side Street Studio Arts, Imago down the street on Prairie, here at Martini Room, Blue Box Cafe, the Elgin Art Showcase in the beautiful professional building, and Elgin Public House.
And you got a website that has plenty of information, don't you?
We do, elginfringefestival.com. We're getting our performing artist schedules up to date. Tickets go on sale, went on sale August 1st and are ready to go. You can buy tickets online ahead of time or at the box office, which is at Fringe Central, which is also Side Street Studio Arts. So you can come in, grab those tickets, and head out to any performance.
I'm going to ask you, I didn't see it in the parade. Is the balloon still going?
The blimp is fading.
Well, so am I, but will it float?
We are working that out as we speak. We love our blimp, but he is hanging on by a thread. So we will all be surprised as to what happens with the blimp this year.
So we won't know until September 7th?
You will not know until September 7th.
Wow, I'll keep it on the edge of our seats. That's,
yes,
that's wonderful.
riveting.
Remind us, the Fringe Festival is a universal concept that you guys adopted years ago.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Fringe Festivals happen all over the world. We are celebrating World Fringe Festivals all over the world today, in fact. So they started in Europe and have made their way to the United States. We are part of the United States Association of Fringe Festivals and the Canadian Association of Fringe Festivals. And they are places where artists who may not be able to afford a big venue or are trying experimental work or just love intimate settings for their performance can come and show work to new audiences of all shapes and sizes and see how it goes. Get the laughs, get the tears, and be really involved and close with the crowd.
And folks who attend as fans, they can choose where they want to go and who they want to see. Is that right?
Absolutely. So you buy your Fringe button. I have all 5 years of Fringe buttons here.
See those.
You buy your Fringe button for $3. That gets you into the festival. And then each performance is either $0, $5, or $10. So those really low and sometimes free price points allow you to take a chance on something that you might not, if it was at that $30, $40, $50 price range, you might not take a chance on it and fall in love with something new.
It's ribbon cutting time for the newly renovated St. Francis Park, 277 Jefferson Avenue on Elgin's northeast side. It's 12:10 of the afternoon on Saturday, July 21st. After the ribbon cutting, the Parks and Recreation Department Director Randy Riopel talks about some of the firsts for this park in Elgin.
One of the firsts is a type of synthetic surface underneath the playground, where usually we have wood chips underneath them, which tend to get a little wet and dirty. This is nice and clean, very, very soft, easy on the knees, so everybody seems to love this type of surface. Also with this type of surface is our first soccer court, which is across the park here. It's an indoor small-side soccer field, like 3v3, 4v4, with the same type of soccer surface. Kids can play soccer there, and the balls won't be running going all over the street. We've got a combination tennis, pickleball, and basketball courts to our right. And we thank all the community members that provided input to help us to make that as flexible as possible. And then just the setting of this park is absolutely incredible. And the last thing I'd point out is that shelter, that gazebo. We had a lot of input from the community. That's our most spectacular gazebo and shelter, and I think it's just a nice centerpiece foundation for St. Francis Park. So we just encourage all of our residents to come out and enjoy and experience this park.
You can learn more about the information you saw here in Elgin today or about city services, programs, and events by going to the Elgin website at www.cityofelgin.org. And now the City of Elgin has a 311 contact center. Elgin 311. Call, click, connect by calling 311, the city's information and request resource. Elgin Today is produced by BTE Video for the City of Elgin. Our BTE staff includes still photographer Bruce Shipyor on the left. On the right, video camera operator Jeremy Hayes. Yours truly, Jeff Myers, in the middle. we had the mayor's segment from the top of Hemmons Cultural Center, Beautiful Scenes. We'll close with some scenes from Hemmons. We'll see you next time right here on Elgin Today.